So, hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Travel DJ Blend with me, Brian B., your host. And today I'm super pumped. We are, basically introducing our first interview of this podcast. And I couldn't think of a better person to bring on than one of my really good friends and like mentors in this business for years and years. This is DJ Roonie G. And he's on the other line here, and we're actually doing this remotely. So he's where you in Georgia right now?
Yes, I'm in Cybertech Studios.
Cybertech Studios.
My home. This is my studio, a sanctuary, my house. So yes, I am in Georgia. Yes.
Okay. See, the chances of us actually being in the same city where we can record something in person is almost impossible. Usually you're leaving a city as I'm getting to one, or vice versa. It just seems like we're always crossing paths whenever we're
busy now. Yeah, we've always been, but I'm more so than ever.
Right. So, I don't even know where to really begin. I think it might be cool for just some of the listeners, because we have some DJs who listen to this podcast. We have industry people. We have just people who are entrepreneurs who are checking it out, trying to learn some things and get a different perspective. And maybe just like quickly kind of talk through like your DJ career just from beginning to end or to where current day is. And then we can just kind of, figure out where to go from there. Just like a short recap of what you've been doing ever since you kind of got in the game.
There's a lot. Okay. How about, I just started off like with a lot of DJs from the old school vinyl, and I was, transporting my turntables and vinyls. I started doing mixes because I was a breakdancer, a b-boy in Japan, and I was mixing. I couldn't get anybody to make my mixes, right? So I started mixing it myself, and got involved mixing and then just doing a gig. I did like my own homecoming, my own prom, high school prom. Escalated to where I traveled a lot because my father was in the military. So I landed in Georgia and started doing remixes for Ultimix, X-Mix, some labels back in the 90s. So I'm really showing my age now. But then, oh my gosh, I did hundreds of remixes, like pre-internet days. So it's funny because some of the mixes I've done, I'll see them on the internet, right? And they'll have and it doesn't have my name on it. I'm like, damn, again, nobody, anyways. But the people who know that has been following my career for years, it's cool. They know, because I still get people like recognizing the mixes and are like, some of these mixes are really good. So appreciate that. Anyways, but all that course, oh God, there's so many chapters in my career. From that onto Pioneer, when I was doing the Pioneer DJ competitions, to when I started touring and was being sponsored and promoting the new CDJs, and of course into the DVJs with the videos. So that's another chapter. And so there's just a lot of stuff right now. Fast forward, let's just go to here. So I'm still very much actively DJing a lot of corporate shows. I did Vegas quite some time, did all the clubs before the club explosion. And I'm still doing my video DJing, which is still very unique. And we can talk about it whenever you want. But yeah, so I'm here and I'm doing that. I've gone 360 to work on my music and back in studio, and I'm working on music and writing and composing and producing songs, which has always been a passion of mine. And
Sure.
Then another end is just also getting into club business. I've owned several clubs throughout the years, and right now I'm in the process of revitalizing one of the clubs, and it's everything's going pretty good. So everything's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we met through Pioneer, so that was kind of how we met, and that was calculating it. Gosh, that's 22 years ago. I'm dating myself now too.
Oh my God.
Crazy. And
Wow.
just to kind of fill in the listeners, I mean, we were basically, at the time, I was just kind of getting into the corporate world, and Pioneer was releasing, actually, it wasn't even a CDJ 1000 at that point. It was just like the CD players, essentially.
CDJ 500.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't even the 700. I think it was the 700. 700 was a sandwich looking one. So that was.
Yeah. And we were trying to figure out a way to showcase this. And Carl at the
That's right.
time,
That's right.
you know, had seen you at some spinoff and saw some creative stuff and thought, man, this guy probably would be great at figuring out this technology. And that's one of the things I think has always impressed me about you, is that you've never settled for any, like, never let barriers be an issue for you. You've always figured out a way to be creatively, to do your thing, no matter what the medium is. Like, it could be CD players, it could be turntables, it don't matter. And you've always figured out a way to, like, put your own unique touch to it and do something super interesting with it. And
Thank
that's
you.
that's what I remember seeing initially in your skill set, was like, oh my gosh, this guy just, like, took this CD player and, like, flipped it on its head. Cause, like, it wasn't even like us. It was more like, I don't know, just like a musical instrument
Yeah.
that you're figuring it out, you know?
So specifically, yeah, that was awesome. So I specifically remember that because it was right after Disney World. I won a DJ competition in Disney World, and then Carl says to me, called, and then that's what you were with, Carl. And then we had a meeting. He's like, I want you to DJ for us with the CD. I'm like, you're crazy. What are you gonna do with CDs? But after he sent me one or two, and I said, oh, I know what I can do. And I said, Carl, I need 4 more. And he sent them to me because, I guess, he wanted me to do something. So what I did was use them as samplers and kind of like, I think that was kind of the inspiration to the hot cues, because I triggered the 700s. There was no other way. The only thing you could do was pitch control. So you couldn't really scratch or anything, but you could instant start them. So I used the instant cue point, then used the 6 players and was triggering him as samplers. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's where we kind of met. And then from there, we just I kind of just hit it off with you, I think, just because, again, creatively, I just felt like you were on another level and somebody that I thought, gosh, this is somebody I want to kind of, learn from, and just kind of just see how he thinks, And so at some point, I don't even remember when it happened, but I came to one of your clubs that you were running. Actually, you had a stake in it, out in Biloxi at the time, Biloxi,
That was
Mississippi.
way in my early days. Yes, I was
Yeah.
not. I did not quite own it. I was a small partner. I put money into it, but no. Anyways, yes, I
Right.
remember. And then what happened?
And so I went out there, and I
Oh
think it was your closing night party at that point. So this was
my
like
God. Okay,
the
so
end, towards the end of that tenure, and you were, you know, just busting it. I mean, you had Sonique on the label at the time, or on the docket to come in and do a concert.
yeah, we did. You were there that party. That's when we had Sonique, Eiffel 65, and that was my last event that I did. Yeah, so I had to shift gears too, and a lot of DJs probably could relate to this, because I want to just be an artist. I just want to be the creative guys, but then we're forced to do, 9 to 5 stuff. So my 9 to 5 at that time was being an entertainment director. So
Right.
yeah, so at least I still kept it kind of tied in with the industry. So I was an entertainment director for that nightclub, and I had to go, and I set my goals, and I just said, I can't do this much longer, and there's a lot of, traveling and stuff to that location. And I
Sure.
set the goal to make that event my last event. And it was good, so that's what I try to do. I try to make goals and try to hit them.
So what made you because obviously you always wanted to be the artist. You wanted to DJ and then also perform, just like, your own songs and things like that. But clearly you had to have a backup plan, in a sense, to kind of make sure you had some bankroll, if you will. What made you kind of decide that, you had to come up with something alternatively to do that, to bring in that revenue? And what made you think to the club world, as an example of running a nightclub, what made you kind of go in that vein?
Oh, no, it's life, you gotta you gotta pay the bills, right? So I think, like, from the early days, I was just very protective, because I grew up very poor, in Thailand, and we didn't have, much. And so having the opportunity to do what I love, I was like, man, this is great. But I started off very slow with my gigs. And then, as I was going through college, once I was able to support my dishwashing job with my DJ job, I was like, now I can quit washing dishes. So I mean, that's literally. So I was washing
Right.
dishes and stuff, and then I was a bus boy, and I always kept, like, trying to be conscious of being secure, because I knew that I had to, it's life, you got to be an adult. So
Right.
it just grew from there. So as I grew my career, I always grew my responsibilities and stuff. And then so taking a leap of faith, you know, every investment is a risk. So there's been tons of failures and some tons of success. And so the nightclub is not one without failures. And anybody who's been in the industry, in the nightclub industry or restaurant too, we won't go there yet. There's some more stories, but you know, you're always taking risk. It's an investment. So yeah, we all got to juggle. We all got to juggle. And I think a lot of your listeners may be like professional DJs who are like mobile DJs, because I still basically is just a high-end mobile DJ myself at some points.
Right.
You know? And I don't mind. I love it. I've always loved it from day one. I didn't care what I did. I was like, give me a gig. You know, I don't care what it is. As long as I'm pushing buttons and I'm entertaining, you know, I'm good, you know, because that's to me what it was. And of course the entertainment part, you know, I just grew with it. But I don't know.
Well,
Just always tried to be responsible.
But it seemed like you have this really knack for entrepreneurship, like not your typical like just 9-to-5 job, but to figure out ways. Was that a streak that you just like have innately, or did you just like, how did you stumble upon the entrepreneur kind of route of business?
Wow, I don't know. I think just being appreciative, and then at the same time survival. So it's a combination of that and being hungry. You know, it's like as an entrepreneur, you got to have those elements. You got to have passion for what you're doing.
Right.
Because it's like with me as an entrepreneur, even right now as an entrepreneur on my businesses, I don't count like, oh my God, I got to work another hour, or I just go. I go hard, and whatever it takes. That's the way I look at it, because I love everything I do. So, you know, I'm running my nightclub now, and I've gone back into managing my nightclub, and I'm spending, you know, 50 hours a week there, and just to do whatever it takes to make it happen. And it doesn't matter to me. It's like, that's my investment. I have to, you know, go in and do what it takes. And then I get to go DJ, and I'm making like, I won't say get specifically, but like one night, you know, because some of the shows I'm doing are really pretty cool now.
Right.
You know, I make quite a bit, and then it's like, why do I still bust my ass on the other thing? Because some investments takes longer, and you just have to be aware of that.
Right.
And you have to have patience, and you have to learn patience, and just make business decision. Every little decision is important. It depends on what you want, you know, right?
Right. Totally.
Diversified your investments too.
Portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little investments, fast, quick investment stuff. So.
Right. So now, what would you say was like your first big break that you had in the DJ world? I mean, was there something that kind of took you from the nightclub life into, you know, some of these more higher end mobiles, as you called it, or, you know, higher end events, or was it a club propelling you to, you know, the Vegas side? What was like in the chronology, where was kind of the next hurdle you went from like local nightclub DJ to the next chapter, if you will?
There's so many actually. So like one of the things was, I've always lived in Columbus, Georgia. I mean, I lived in Warner Robins and in Columbus. It's just small towns. So people always like, why don't you just move? And anyways, I kind of just like, I don't have nothing to prove there, because I should be able to do whatever I need. And within time, I was able to do that. I was commuting, and I had a residency in LA. I think you were managing me at the time. So I was doing every Thursday in LA for 2 years. I flew to LA every Thursday from Columbus, Georgia, not Atlanta, not living in another move. And I was doing Vegas every weekend from Columbus, Georgia. So when there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
You guys just gotta, you know, it was a lot of business minded and negotiations that went into how that logistically was even possible.
Right.
I mean, it's insane. It's like I was commuting every week, but I made it work, and with family, because I had to value my time. So come Thursday at 5 p.m., that's when I get on this shuttle, hit the airport. Boom, I had my ride. Anyway, it was all clockwork.
Right.
Anyways, taking steps and building foundation on that, you know. What was the question?
well, just like, you know, was it circumstance, just happened to be at the right place at the right time?
Yeah.
Was it
So I, you know, it's kind of like poker, because I'm an avid poker player too.
Yeah.
If people say, oh, you're lucky, or somebody's lucky when they win. No, you have to create your own luck. And some of that is just, you know, it's like they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And, you know, so you got to keep taking shots. So yeah, taken a lot of freaking shots and a lot of misses, trust me. And sometimes there's some embarrassments. I mean, like one of the things, let's just answer your question. Let's just say my involvement with Pioneer was a big turning point, and it was, because once Carl saw me and you saw me do my competition, you know, so that competition, I had to put myself in front of you. You saw me, then it led to my relationship with you guys. Well, once we started doing the tours for like the CDJs, I remember we literally got stuff thrown at us on stage because the turntablist world did have no clue, and they were not ready to hear somebody say, "Oh, we're gonna scratch with CDs." And so I was like a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
literally before they even got to hear see, they were like, "Boo!" So
Yeah.
many times, and we're like, "Ugh," and we just had to break through. So there was a lot of hard work and perseverance to continue to push on what we believe, because we came up and we were pushing that concept and promoting that. So that was a big turning point, because then it got me in front of people too.
Right.
You know, all the competitions was turning points. Every show, actually, you know what, every show I do is a turning point, because I try to put 100% into my show.
Right.
And that is important. It's like word of mouth. So you know, I just try to make every event, everything that I do, every time I get in front and perform, even though like right now I've been working on my club for the last month and a half. I haven't really even touched my tables or decks. But then, like, I spun the other night, and in the corporate world, I got a show coming up in DC tomorrow. So I'm gonna kill it. And when I kill it, it's like riding a bike. All those artistic stuff and all the skill sets that I've developed over the years, it comes back to me quickly because I trained really hard. I really trained with it. It's like muscle memory. So so like tomorrow's show, to me, that's a good turning point, because you never know who sees you. But one of the big turning points is when I did Vegas for the first time with the DVJs. John Kamahele, he was at the beach. It was like when anybody knows Vegas, if you remember the beach, that was like pre all the clubs, and then it was Raw. That was like it. It was like those are the clubs, and so that led me to residency at Raw. So that was before even Pure and all the light group even came in. So that was before any clubs. It's crazy. So I was doing Raw every weekend for a while. So that escalated, and then I did residency at Jet.
Right.
And so, you know, those are all, you know, pivotal
moments. Yeah. And
So,
and during that time, you're still wanting to pursue also your artistry of original music too, right? So like balancing, you know, all of those things. I mean, how were you finding time, and like, what was just burning the candle at both ends? I mean, how did you
I gotta say, obviously, my singles aren't blowing up or out yet. So that's probably what I had to sacrifice. So yes, my career is good as a DJ and as a DJ artist, but the things I sacrifice is my time in the studio and my writing abilities. Although I have stuff, I've got a lot of songs and stuff in the work. So I feel like that's suffered. I don't say it suffered in a bad way. It's just I have to put on my responsibility, and my actual DJ skills was bringing the bread and butter.
Right.
So I have to focus on that. So how do I find time? I've like, one of the things that's been hindering me for my studio stuff is foundation in music. So I just find time. I found time to relearn how to play piano. So in the last couple of years, and everything's marinating. So that's what it is. It's marinating. So hopefully my next chapter is the music and stuff.
Right. So current day, I mean, you from the club world, then you kind of got some connections that allowed you, because I mean, when you and I were working together, I mean, to fill some of the listeners in, I left Pioneer. We ended up like starting a few different businesses, but one of them was like an artist management thing for a while when the DVJ stuff was hot. We had some DJs.
We had a DVDJ Unique.
Yeah.
We had G-Funk.
A bunch of them.
A few other DJs. So we're doing the video assassins, yes.
Which was really parlayed off of your name, essentially, because people had seen you and you know, experienced your shows, and we just couldn't fill the demand with you doing all the shows. So it just kind of led us to kind of creating that model for a while until, you know, it just became super oversaturated. But for a while there, we had that. And then at some point, you know, it just became too much for even me to kind of manage, because you needed to go to a next level. And so then you've got a new manager in place who's been with you since then, which was like, gosh, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, probably at least. And what's kind of the goal there? Is it to, you know, do more? Because now you're doing corporate events primarily, but also community events and some other big high-end stuff. What are some of the challenges you're finding in that? What are some of the successes you've gotten from that? I mean, where have things been in the last year or two with that?
The corporate shows are great. You know, I think it's some of the similar challenges as when I was first DJing, and probably a lot of the DJs that are listening, um, is that you got to stay relevant. You got to stay relevant, and you got to keep marketing yourself. And so it's you got to keep doing it every day. It's a business and a job too, and just I just have to remember that I have to continue to push myself to stay ahead of the game. So luckily, when I perform and stuff, it speaks and it speaks for itself. So like the client are really happy, and
Right.
then we get rebooking. So that happens a lot. So it's the same challenges as like all in the beginning of the mobile, just a higher end.
Right.
So
Totally. And with that, I mean, where you found like the biggest challenge in staying relevant? Do you feel like it's just like the social side of things, social media side? Do you feel like it's just the you know, staying up on the music? I mean, I don't think you've ever suffered from that issue at
it's
all.
gotten easier. I tell you what, with the social technology and the downloading and stuff like that. Because back in the days, um, when we were able to finally trade, CDs or whatever, then burn CDs, and all of a sudden video came out, and I was traveling DJing with videos, but the problem was it was so much prep time. I would spend, you know, I can't countless hours,
Right.
and I mean like 20 hours, 30 hours, whatever. I don't know. I can't count how many hours a week
Right.
preparing my videos, editing, preparing. And then even when I went to Vegas, I was doing my video shows. I would get off the airplane, go straight to my room, and do a video edit, preparing for the night. But it's just not like today. I could do a video edit and be like, "Oh, I'm ready," and then download it to my laptop.
Right.
Back in the day when I was doing it at Jet, I would have to prepare it. Then I had to burn the DVD. Then I had to wait for it to burn. I literally was burning shit all the way until like the club right before my set. I'm like, I hope this DVD finishes burning.
Right.
So it's
Right.
so now today the challenge is actually a lot easier, and the challenges aren't the technical part for me. The challenges is the humanity part, like understanding, you know, you know, all the social media stuff going on when there's positive reviews and when there's let's say a negative review. And so just spending time doing that, and also combating the saturation of the
Hmm.
DJ market, because it's just so saturated. So what's the difference between you and so and so? It's like, everybody's accessible.
Right.
um and it's crazy, I don't have a lot of like views or listeners, but I do some very high profile stuff. I'm like super like almost not exclusive, of course, but you
Yeah.
know,
Like a ninja, just kind of
yeah,
get
like
in and out. Right.
yeah. So I do my thing, and so it's like views and stuff aren't always necessarily the case, because when people see me, then it's the real deal.
Right.
so,
Right.
so yeah. So the challenge is it's shifting my attention to that part of it.
Right.
So
Right. Got it. Now, what would you say? I mean, being in the game for as long as you've been doing this, what is there any kind of like tricks or longevity tips that you can give to people who want to like be doing this for for as long as they can? I mean, obviously, staying relevant's one thing, but is there any other little tricks of this of the trade that you've kind of learned over the years that have allowed you to continue to do this?
there's a lot. Be passionate, love what you're doing. um be humble, always keep learning. um Try to I multitask a lot. So
Yeah.
I think that's important. And then trying to utilize your time, because we only got 24 hours in the day. So I try to learn as much as I can, or stay productive, and organizing.
Mm.
This has nothing to do with DJing, but I just thought about it literally today, and I said, "Wow, I need to tell Brian this when he has an interview, because And that is the two most important piece of tools I realize I have is pen and paper.
Pen and
You
paper.
know why? I make my list and I start doing this. Yeah, we can do all the lists in the computer, but it's something different about writing it down. Like I wrote my list like literally 3 times a day. I wrote it and then I scratched it off and then I moved it to another piece of paper. But there's some gratification in that. It doesn't take long. That's why it's important. It's not time consuming. But what it does, it takes the weight off my mind so I can focus. As soon as I have an idea or a task, I write it down. A lot of it, like work ideas, like organization. So, I try to write it down and organize myself. And there's a gratification at the end of every task, or at the end of the day, if I could accomplish it. If I don't accomplish all of it, I rewrite it, and then the next day. So when I do that, and I really feel really good. I really feel accomplished. And I do push myself to finish stuff. Like on my list, it might have workout, scratch for 20 minutes, and I literally write stupid stuff like that, but it's fun. I booked the Yin Yang Twins at my club, so I say Yin Yang Twins, send deposit. Sell bed. I just had a bed for my Airbnb. Anyway, so it's little things, but it's important. Clean this, clean that. I think of it like there was a thing on the internet that saw like holding a glass, and it was like, it's light, we can hold it. But after you hold it for like 10 hours, it gets heavy.
Right.
So like if you have all this stuff in your mind and you're trying to hold it in your mind, it gets heavy on you. But if you start releasing it, like on something as simple as a piece of paper, it helps. So in that time, I'm thinking, okay, I want to scratch for 30 minutes so I can just relax, or I'm going to play my piano for 30 minutes, and then I actually write it down. So I try to my task, and I try to. It's like my day planner, but I don't have such a tight schedule. My schedule is pretty flexible because pretty freely. So I maximize my schedule that way instead of taking advantage of my own schedule and not doing anything.
Got it.
I talk too much. I apologize.
No, you're good. This is good. So this is called the Travel DJ Blend because there's just it's a blend of
paper.
It's a blend all over the place, right? So maybe I thought this would be a fun question just to ask you, like,
let's do some fun. I'm talking to
any travel tips you have, like things that you've learned on the road just to help you, like any apps or little technology things that you're using to get you through the travel side of things, anything like that you're using currently?
Let me see. I always do orbits.
Why orbits? What does that mean? Does that just?
It's very all in one. It's just what my go-to. I'm sure. I don't know. Everything's pretty similar anyways. You gotta go to something, right?
Right.
Travel tips is DJing.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't have to even be DJing related. It could just be just travel in general. Like anything that you think would be a helpful tip for somebody that's, traveling a lot that goes, oh, that's a great idea, or something like that.
Always have a backup drive. How about that?
Yeah.
Always have a backup drive. It's so important. I try not to check in my bags, if that makes any sense. I always try to have my one carry-on.
Mm-hmm.
And, I used to not be able to do that back in the day when we always had to carry the big cases, and we done graduated from that. I don't know. It's just
do you try to give yourself as much margin as possible, like as far as getting in and stuff like that, or do you kind of run it pretty tight, like maximizing all that time before you leave? Or
I maximize. I run things pretty tight, but you got to know what you're getting into. You guys got to be aware, of the travel time. So,
yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Traveling's fun.
Yeah. I mean, what about music? Is there any couple hits that you're really digging right now? Like any tracks that you're really feeling at the moment that for you have done well? Like maybe just a couple songs that you're thinking through or using currently that you really are digging. Artist even. It doesn't even have to be a specific song, but just who you're really digging at the moment.
There's a lot of good stuff, but then it's like not always specific one. Well, this is not something I actually play a lot. But I've been listening to a lot of Joyner Lucas as far as rap and stuff. So actually, me and my son, we like listening. He likes to freestyle a lot. So I don't actually play a lot of. He does have some good stuff that you can play now, but so I've been listening to a lot more freestyle. we
Okay.
we just learn a lot of freestyle. It's just like hearing people freestyle. So,
Right. Right.
but I like all music, especially of course electronic. I love electronic music. Um, so a lot of house and just I don't know. There's good. There's so many good songs. You know what's crazy is there's good songs and then there's a good mixes. Then you have mixes that come out. You know that just like, oh, man, I'm like blank for some reason. But
Oh, you're good. You're good. What about like your own personal music stuff that you're doing? What's kind of next on the horizons for that? I know you've been, like you said earlier, you're taking lessons, you're progressing. Like, are you hoping to find the time to release anything anytime soon, or where's
I
that at?
am I am definitely looking at 2019 to release some music. So
Fantastic,
like
man.
I don't want to even really talk. I need to walk the walk. I need to just say, well, here it is. But it's obviously going to be dance music. But I do write a variety. I do like singer-songwriter stuff. So I write a lot of songs, and um, uh, I'm hoping that this year will be a good chance for me to put out a lot of my songs and my productions. So
Nice. Okay.
yeah, it ranges from pop to dance to house to electronic to EDM festival stuff and trap to hip hop. So a little bit, and even like some country songs actually. Yeah. So
Okay. Uh,
there's amazing. There's so many talented people out there that are doing everything. You got to find. To me, it's like you got to get that niche, right?
right.
So
Right. That's awesome. What about releases to the public outside of your own personal stuff? Like, are you doing any kind of like stuff on Mixcloud, or do you have like video mixes that you're kind of putting out there for people to consume? Like, how are people kind of here able to see what you do?
that's
And
funny. I stay very exclusive on that. Even ever since you were managing me,
yeah,
I never put my stuff out. So it's almost like I always keep myself only exclusive to my shows because to me, I don't want to have my stuff accessible. So
right,
I don't
right,
know, probably being a little stingy and stuff, but I have to protect my investment, right? My interest. So
right,
if I have an edit, it's hard for me to just put it out because it doesn't really gain anything for me to put it out.
right,
So no, you're not gonna none of those releases. I have done like you know all
right.
several dozens of mix CDs and stuff, and I just basically stopped doing that because I'm kind of taking different routes. But a mix CD is not out of the question actually. Of
Hmm,
all of them. You won't hear a mix edit, but maybe some remixes and maybe a mix CD maybe in the near future.
got it. Do you feel like the video thing is going to be kind of still the future? Like, are you still kind of going down the video DJing path? Because I mean, you've been on that for a while now, or are you? Do you see
Yes.
that shifting?
There's
Or
there's pros and cons on it. You've got to use it as yeah, you've got to use it as a tool for what it is. It can become like very powerful if it's with the right client. Let's just talk business for the mobile DJ standpoint or DJ standpoint in general. If you have a client who's values that, there's a lot of value to it if you enlighten them and show them what it can do,
right,
like just from the graphics itself to be stimulating to the maybe putting text up and just communicating or customizing for the client. Let's just say if it's somebody's birthday or whatever, or the corporate party and like incorporating corporate CEOs and stuff into the mix or their brand, incorporating their brand in it. So there's a lot of value in it. I think the novelty is as good as will last as long as you let it last. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
So
yeah,
um, it's definitely just depends on the art or the performer, myself or yourself or anybody who's out there as a DJ. You can push it as much as you want.
right,
And what's crazy is I think some clients now are still not quite. There's still a lot of clients that are potential clients that aren't really really aware of the power of the video, and so there's opportunity. So I think even though it's kind of filtered down from the DJ industry, like the video thing has been there, done that, but I think there's a lot of business to gain from you as DJ performer, yourself, myself, any DJs out there, to be able to say to a client, this is what I do. You know
Right.
what I mean? I can add this to your to my performance, and that creates value. So
Sure.
I think
Where
there's potential there still to continue.
where are you playing anywhere that somebody can see you publicly, or do you have any public events, or are they all private for the moment?
Well, I am doing Mardi Gras for
Okay.
August 2019. Mardi Gras is probably the second biggest Mardi Gras party in New Orleans, and this year, and it's going to be like ridiculous. So I'll be there.
Okay.
Um, you know, I'm at my club sometimes, except I'm kind of managing, so that's kind of ironic. It's like I travel doing the DJ stuff, and I'm managing my club, but I got to do what I have to do right now.
Right. No,
So
totally.
as far as other things, I've got some things in the works. I can't really speak of it right now.
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to not worry about uh, that much than to get back in the studio and finish the production and music. To me, I get back in the studio and do that, and game changer. That's what we're trying to do. So
Okay. Okay. Well, where's the best place for people to catch you? I mean, on your website, or is that the best place to catch you? Instagram, or you have where's the best place for people if they wanted to see what you do and potentially book you out? What's the best medium to sample that work and then
yeah,
reach
everything
out?
is accessible to my website slash social medias. Everything is DJ Roonie G.
Okay.
So Instagram, Facebook, website, everything is that. Um, yeah, there's lots of videos, and I kind of mix my personal and business only because I guess I have to, because my life is my business, and that's what I made it. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. Sometimes I go, dang, I'm putting a lot of business on my personal website, but it's like I kind of have to,
Yeah.
because it's part of me. So
Right. No, totally, man.
you'll see a lot of personal stuff along with my music stuff, my DJ stuff. So
All right, cool. Well, we'll put those handles in the liner notes of this podcast for sure. Well,
thank
man,
you.
I super appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time and insight into your world and what you're doing, man. And congrats on just like keep pushing it up forward. I mean, you've always been that kind of guy that for me, I go, the bar is way up there for me to try to jump to, but you always seem to not only jump those hurdles, but continue to make new hurdles to jump. So it's always fun to see how, through the years you.
Thank you, Brian. Well, I have to reinvent myself. Sometimes, I think you just have to push yourself. You learn a lot too, and then you learn uh, from the industry, the business, and then from the kids and stuff. Now
Yeah.
you've done great, because you were just managing me, and then you were just like barely even like
Yeah.
DJing, and you're pushing. And all of a sudden you blew up, and shoot, that's interesting, because you've taken all this stuff, and at that time you were just basically didn't really DJ much. You were like trying to just, you weren't a roadie, but you were there assistant managing.
Right.
Let's say that, with Carl and stuff.
Right.
So from that point on to where you're at now, it's pretty amazing. And then you've done. We should ask you how you did it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I need to do an interview with you. So
Yeah. We'll make that the next thing we do for sure,
that
man.
would be good. I think people would be interested too, because I don't think they realize that you know how far you've came
Right. Yeah.
from your DJ career. So
It's
very
been a
impressive
journey.
too.
Been a journey, man, for sure.
Different stuff, but yes, it's still
Totally.
very, very
Absolutely, man.
interesting.
Well, enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. And wherever you're listening to this, we appreciate you tuning in. And Roonie, thanks again for making some time. And we'll get you on another episode soon. And I can't wait to see all the stuff that's going to happen in 2019. I have good vibes that this is going to be a good year for you.
Yeah, if you want to check out, like you were asking me, I think, check out the video on the Bacchus on I think my YouTube, whatever, the Bacchus performance in Mardi Gras.
From 2018.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Okay.
That's pretty cool set. Because I got to fly from the sky.
That's sick, man.
That's
I'll put that in the liner notes too and share that with everybody so that they can see that. But
good.
that'll be
So I will
awesome.
see you guys. If you guys make it to New Orleans, that's where the party's gonna be.
Yep.
So, and in the meantime, God bless. Good luck with everybody in your career, your business, and keep working hard, man. Work. Oh, that's another thing. I have another business sort of mantra slogan thing that I'm creating. It's called work hard, love harder. So
Ooh,
everybody work hard, love harder.
there we go. We just got the title for the episode at the very end.
There you go. And I'll send you the link that you can buy my merchandise.
Yeah, please. That'd be
I
awesome.
finished the store, but I haven't like. So you'll be maybe that'll be great. I can put you as the first link. You can link my merch. So
That'd be great, man.
work hard, love harder. Peace. God bless.
All right. Later.